Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me call your attention to this great leader here on the stage. I call him Brother Vic. He's in a position of a flying lotus, and let him explain what a flying lotus really is. If you look at Vic right now, that's pretty powerful. How many of you, ladies and gentlemen, can do this? I would like to learn how to do it. I've got another 100+ years to find out what it's all about. Vic Torres is going to be talking about the life force that lies within.
Thank you. We all know that we are spirit having a human experience, not the other way around. Life is meant to be life of joy, creativity, self-expression, discovery, wonder, and at one ongoing communion with our Creator. That's the source of our power and our joy. You probably have been sitting around quite a bit from both morning till now. So what I'd like to do is initiate a little movement. And before I do that, if there could be someone who would like to come on stage, that will be a volunteer. And just to share some of the way that the energy within works. So who would like to volunteer? Oh my God, 100 hands went up. Only one of you can come on stage. So who's going to be first? Come on, come on. Don't be shy. Let God be your guide. Be yourself.
No, we don't have to talk. Let's go up.
All right.
Come on, don't be bashful. Get your you know what out of the chair.
Many of you have heard of the way our energy works. We're all an energy vortex. Not only are we on the electromagnetic level, a field of force, through realkalizing yourself with the energy of alkaline nutrition, we build up in each cell, and we are hundreds of trillions of cells. Each cell is a tiny little battery that is never meant to run down to lead to adrenaline exhaustion, fatigue, chronic fatigue. In the cellular interior is the nucleus, which is very acid. The cytoplasma is like a swampland that surrounds this island of a nucleus. And the cytoplasma, this swampland, is very alkaline. And that's just exactly the way batteries are set up, with one pole being alkaline, the other one acid. And it creates an electrovoltage as much as for starting your vehicle, likewise for starting your morning day. Are you with that droopy face that Dr. C talked about? Or are you, hello world, welcome! I am here to do great things. I am full of energy. So, electrovoltage of one cell inductively connects with cells of a tissue that make up the tissue, and tissues make up organs, and the power of your cells drive the power of your muscle, of your internal organs. That is why on an alkaline nutrition, any time, night and day, without preliminary training. They're breaking the 2-minute mile. In the mammalian animal kingdom, and we're proud of the 4-minute mile broken. I will tell you, you will see such a breakthrough taking place at the Olympics. So we're all electrical systems, and electricity, they call it laying of the hands, or contact healing, or Reiki massage. There's many different names used. Also, acupuncture was the discovery of many points along your body system, which creates an influence on you by touching them, by massaging them, by putting needles in there. Can really break up the blockages to the flow of energy. So we'll do a little demonstration with kinesiology, which is a response to words as well as objects or ideas or touch or movements, and how your own energy field and strength is influenced. So I'm going to ask you if you would cooperate with me. Stretch out your hand to the side, and what I do is first I locate a place of reference where she is still strong. Like here, she probably would be quite strong. I couldn't budge her. But if I went here, she just goes right down. But around here, she's about, pretty strong. Now, I want you to say something like, my name is Catherine. Say that out loud.
My name is Catherine.
Resist. Okay. Now it goes right down. Now I want you to say, my name is your true name.
My name is Sheila.
Resist. Okay, I can't budge her. So, body knows what is truth. There's a Dr. Hawkins, a medical doctor, wrote a book called Power versus Force. It took 20 years to put the research together. But he showed that operation of a yes-no universe, which through the way your body responds, either it gets stronger or weaker, it gives you answers of truth that you do not have any knowledge about. Now, what we're going to do is have her again stretch out her hands, and I'm going to stroke her a few times in this direction, and resist as I press down, okay? Now I'm going to stroke you in the opposite direction. Resist as I press down, okay? I can't budge her. Now we're going to come over to her power point, often referred to as solar plexus. Tremendous volume of glandular energy vortex is here. And we're going to spin in the direction of counterclockwise, just moving around her belly belly button, as if she had a clock there, and moving in a counterclockwise direction. Resist again, okay? Okay. Now I'm going to spin it in a clockwise direction, okay? Resist as I press down, okay? I can't budge her. Now, what we can do is use these approaches to empower ourselves. So we can put our hands together in a prayer fashion and allow our hands to soar to the ceiling and move down in this fashion and along us in this fashion. Now this will have in the morning, if you wake up and you're not feeling fully of your element, just do that. Stroke and breathe with a full inhalation. Repeat that cycle 10 times. You will be saying to myself, wow, I just saved a Starbucks experience for breakfast. because you will feel empowered in spite of the fact that you might have had no sleep. It is so simple to charge up your system. And then going back to that belly button, oh, nice place to be. Imagine that clock on your belly button. I want all of you to do it. There's a clock. We have 12, 3, 6, 9. Now what you do is go in a clockwise direction 30 times and then stroke yourself upwards and shake it off twice. Do another 30 times, okay? 30 times, I didn't do it 30 times, shake it off again, and about 8 hours go by, and repeat that again. Well, if you need to lose weight, you will be amazed. No other change, but this increase in metabolism, you will be losing about half a pound per day of weight loss just by increased metabolism. Isn't that what you do is when you go out and purchase a caffeine pill or purchase some other weight loss products, they all have some ways to increase metabolism. Well, you got the magic wand at your fingertips. Whip up, just blunderize yourself. Turn up, repeat again. So simple. Now we're gonna not stop with that. We all know trampoline is good, but I'm on the road a lot. I don't have the trampoline with me, so I have an imaginary rope for rope skipping, But we're gonna combine that also. All these yogis and mystic people, and now, anybody that doesn't exercise, everybody's into a lot of breathing. And the whole idea is inhale, do a full breath, and do a little breath reholding and exhale. But even conceive of, as if you were running, you do what some call it rapid breathing or breath of fire. So you can place your hand on your belly button and do something like this. Okay, so now we're going to combine the three things together. Hold on. We're going to soar. So first, we just jump up and down. Then we initiate this and do the breath of fire. We're almost soaring. Now, how does everyone feel here on stage? Energized? My God, you even look like you have lost a few years of age. And my God, such a strong aura field around you girls. Thank you for braving yourself to join me here. Thank you. We all want more energy, not only for physical activity, but intellectual activity. You have heard of Dumbing of America in Newsweek, Times Week. A lot of it had to do with all the things that have been talked about by all these fantastic, great speakers. I just feel so grateful to John Eagle Freedom for creating this event of socializing, not only with the audience, but also with such wonderful speakers from levels of expertise that it takes a lifetime to gain insight into the nature of water and to come up with some of the best water systems and to do the kind of work, pioneer work, that Dr. C has done with cancer and penetrating the school children and teaching parents by having the parents taught by the children. Isn't it say in the Bible, and time will come when the children will lead and will bring wisdom, for children are with wisdom. All you need to do is get out of their way. As soon as you're born, we're just getting our children dumbed up instead of raised up into states of higher consciousness. One of the things that is interesting of numbing of energy and reduction of energy, you notice how that occurs not only intellectually but energy-wise. It's very acidified. All those festivities, you know, the holidays that we have and the feasts that go, all the fantastic socializing. However, as we are indulging there, we are becoming more and more acid, and our sentences become reduced to 3 words and 4-word sentences. We're more like catatonic individuals. And is there a cure for that? Of course there is. Well, the ultimate cure is lifestyle upgrade, but a temporary cure, which is the one that is used in an acidic world of our community, is, yes, alkaloids. So you got a choice in life. You got either alkalize and be youthful and energetic and enjoying all your life experience, or, as our ever-famous conservative Rush Limbaugh said, I just happened to catch him that particular day on a radio show, talk show. He says, golly, anything that makes you feel so good can't be altogether that bad. Well, you know what, he was talking about some alkaloids that obviously has an experience with for a while. Acid lifestyles are the only way balanced, either recovery and alkalinity or the alkaloids. Alkaloids have unique property. Biochemically, you can look it up in any reference book. Alkaloids neutralize acidity without creating a permanent alkaline environment. And if you take an alcohol like caffeine, it has, after it has created effect, and you feel wonderful. I mean, happy faces of Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. Really, you'd think you've gone to heaven. Such a wonderful place to be. And then they have the beautiful environments of McDonald's, all the play places for the children, and getting them inculcated into the rituals of happiness. The happy clown, happy, happy, happy. That's what life is all about, fun, fun, fun. However, it misses the fundamentals of life. So, what you're getting is, with the caffeine, about 35 slow-acting acids that starts getting you now back into your body, back into your sad, depressed, debilitated condition. So it's a short blast, but my God, there's another coffee break. Do you realize our nutrition is such that it is so inadequate that without the supplementation either of coffee or cigarettes, because nicotine is an alkaloid, and my God, it does give you a 15-minute type of a lift, but you bring in about 20 slow-acting organic acids, leaves you more acidified. Or cocaine. These are all the things that one needs on a very deficient diet to make you get through the day. 6 cups of coffee. I was up to, I think, about 16 a day. 3 packs of cigarettes. I know what it's like to be there, what I'm trying to say. I went cold turkey on all of this. Not exactly a direction I would recommend to anybody, but I did it on my own, and I just said, enough is enough. When my hands was shaking like that, and I couldn't find focus or clear-mindedness without one of those products, after a while I just was tired in spite of them. I said, time to quit. And that's the intuitive side of each individual, continuously speaking. Do you realize, dear audience, you know more than enough to be not only superior, in a state of superior health, but also be able to start moving the biological clock backwards, so that not only will you have the energy of youth, but you start also looking younger and younger. That is the beauty. One of my dear friends, Dr. Luella Hamilton, and she decided to go to medical school. She thought that was prestige, and people would listen to her. In those days, you had to have an edge, because we were the health nuts. And she became a health nut, so she thought she would get herself some authoritative spoke power by getting a medical doctor, and she did. But on a very poor nutritional, as often it happens, a lot of coffee, a lot of comfort foods. She got through, and then she returned to the path of clear-mindedness, detox, cleansing, and everything else like that. Well, I met her about 3 years or so after she's been taking on enough clients to support her lifestyles, which was very low-key, a trailer where she counseled nutritional lifestyle upgrade to those who were willing to come to her, showing them how to cleanse, detoxify, use salt baths, use hydrotherapy, get involved in food combining, nutritional eating, sprouting, all these kind of goodies. But she not only taught, but she practiced and practiced on herself. And she had an iris that was just pure clean. No lines on her face, yet she was around 60. One of her clients was a young man in his late 20s who was a classic concert pianist. He fell madly in love, heads over feet, all the way. And they got married. They lived happily ever after for 30 years after that time. She decided she wanted more freedom, so they separated because she wanted to concentrate on more inner work, very common as you get more advanced in age. And I've seen so many, both the whole concept of ageism and prejudice we have toward ages. You should have respect for the wisdom of the ancients, but also you find that this whole concept of age is disappearing. I see men in their one of my good friends in Costa Rica, PhD, a doctor in psychology, a raw foodist, 77. His wife, he just got married after 4 years of courting. He started courting her when she was 24, got married. Just as much as I see one of my most beloved companions for many years was a woman that was 30 years older than me. So ageism is disappearing as a judgment or placement because of biological markers. Chronology has no more meaning when you start modulating your lifestyle choices. You notice how with proper combination of improved nutrition, rest, and exercise, especially exercise, how individuals get sculptured, their face tightens up, their muscles start getting lean, those love handles disappear, and all of a sudden love appears instead of just handles. You make those choices. So, biological markers. And I started talking about enzymes in a previous discussion. Where do you get all those enzymes? Well, they are found in unheat-treated food. Fruits, vegetables, the highest concentration, we want to look at them. The highest concentration of foods, and these foods are also, when one studied cultures of highest longevity, lowest incidence of degenerative disease, and lowest incidence of infant mortality, you find that they all consumed on a daily basis, yes, bugs, bacteria, friendly bacteria found in fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, yogurt, and you can make delicious yogurt just by taking sunflower seeds, blend them to cream with water, raw sunflower seeds. If you add some friendly bacteria, that'll just make the yogurt appear so much faster, but even the airborne bacteria, we're just immersed in a world, a planet where, can you imagine, about 80 to 90% of the biomass, that means of living tissues, is invisible. You are living with ghosts. And these bacteria do wonders. They create vitamin B12 complex. They crank up your enzyme production to a radical level, making it available. They even, Dr. Oolong and Huxley, that I quote in my book, Survival in the 21st Century, did research with Papua New Guinea's tribe that had an unusual diet of only, after careful evaluation, it made no sense from all traditional studies of nutrition. They were thriving and full of energy and having also healthy reproduction on 5 grams of protein per day. Unacceptable, unacceptable. So they spend time hanging out with these people, find out how they're doing it. Maybe they're sneaking in a little bit of worms, a little bit of bugs, whatever in their diet to beef up their protein intake. They found none of that. But when they were evaluating their stool, and then it became clear, over 30 grams of protein was produced on a daily basis by the gastrointestinal tract bacteria, which fixated nitrogen and converting nitrogen into amino acids, peptides, polypeptides, and protein, which became available to your human system. If you're interested to have a fun time, you might find out by putting quote marks around Secret Life of Microbes, wonderful YouTube show and tell. You'll find out that about 90%, as has been expressed by earlier speakers, but nothing like repeating a deep truth one more time. 90% of your genetic makeup and material is of non-human origin. You are microbial. And can you imagine the insanity of our medical community raging war against germs? You can never win. They are overwhelmingly present. And all you do is kill off majority of your friendly bacteria, and the healthy bacteria now are gone, and the pathogenic microbes take over, and many of the pathogenic microbes start dining and whiting on all the antibiotics and mutate to different levels where now the antibiotics, they just can use it as food. They mutated. Now our antibiotics are not working. However, there is one antibiotic that works. You can Google this up on the internet. Just put in kimchi, K-I-M-C-H-I, plus Korea, plus avian flu. And interestingly enough, you'll Google up research that was done by the Korean Nutrition Department. They had a tradition of these fermented foods. For thousands of years they've been eating. And they wondered, at that time there was a major concern about avian flu. What impact would it have on avian flu? Well, they found not only prevented, but it cured it. Well, my God, you know, the Europeans aren't going to let the Asians get ahead of them. So about 4 months later, the Germans came out with their own research. Sauerkraut prevents and cures avian flu. And I'm sure if a yogurt manufacturer decided to do some further research, they'd find the same thing. Swine flu. Well, Mercola has a little song, a rapper who found the cure for swine flu. I mean, can you imagine a rapper finding the cure? And he sings, "Don't stick the needle into your body. Don't get vaccinated and be free of swine flu." It's a very good rap song. You will dance in joy because now you got another answer to the needle. Just go to Mercola.com. One of the best resources on vaccinations. A medical doctor who has for years been propagating health freedom like our colleagues here have likewise. Our numbers are growing in power, but the power might not pay attention to majority rule. However, you can Google up culturally creatives. That was a study done 15 years ago. And they tried to divide up the United States culture into 3 major groups: the moderns, the traditionalists, and the culturally creatives, which this audience represents. They had about 20 common values: interest in health, environmental, spirituality, relationships, communication, organic farming, etc., etc. And at that time, it was already 25%. Well, if you watch Oprah talk about her cardiologist, Dr. Oz, he says to stay healthy and disease-free, alkalize yourself on a daily basis with green raw soup that you can make it with a blender, and it can be very tasty. I will give you a recipe. First, the purest recipe, which is easy and quick to make. Chop up 1 good-sized cucumber, and if you have organic, and if you have problems with the skin, maybe you could peel it. And you can use also zucchini. And then put in a handful of all kind of baby greens, might be sunflower greens. And tomorrow, I will be discussing kitchen, indoor, instant agriculture. No soil. No soil. Only sea salt and water. It's called hydroponic, but you will grow the best, the tastiest vegetation without mildew, without fruit flies, and any of the other complications, not having to figure out what to do with your compost, where to get your soil. So anyways, you throw in some sunflower greens, which are grown in 7 days, and I am the one that introduced sunflower green, never getting a single percentage of. Even at Whole Foods, you can buy sunflower greens at $32 a pound. You know how much it will cost you at home? I'd say about 25 cents a pound. Grown in 7 days, requiring about maybe 15 minutes total of your time, not per day. That's how good all this is. Simple solutions is the way we all here propagate self-reliance, personal responsibility. So you put in all kind of baby greens, spinach, arugula, whatever you like, kale, chop it up, of course, and put them into the blender. And then if you have a Vitamix, well, you can use the plunger. Or if you don't have a Vitamix, you make your own plunger. You purchase one of the 12-inch carrots and just put your hand on the lid and turn it on, and then use the carrot as a plunger. Boom, 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 boom. In a matter of a few seconds, it's chopped up into creaminess. Then what you do is add a little sea salt and an avocado, and you got a fantastic soup. That will be alkalizing you, but you say, well, I don't know, it doesn't taste that good because I'm accustomed to more sweetness. So, well, put in a peach if it's in season, put some blackberries or raspberries if it's in season, put in even a half a banana or a ripe plantain, half a ripe plantain, or papaya, and blend it all together. Now you got a sweet green soup that is almost like a dessert, a complete meal. Or you could have just as well put in carrots or corn. Non-GMO corn, of course, but that's seasonal phenomena. Or an apple. In our early days, that's what we used to do. Put an apple, put all these greens together, put a cucumber, and my God, it is just lovely. You can even, if you have any kind of gastrointestinal disorders, all right, I'm going to get into prescribing. In the tradition of Hippocrates, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. As you can see, I am not a doctor because of the things that were said. I'd rather join another cult. This is a cult of death, and I am into pro-lifing, youthing, rejuvenation, healing, lifing. Green soups, once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day for weight loss. If you got any kind of ulcerations, difficulties. I quoted my survival. All forms of ulcerations treated successfully with crude chlorophyll greens. I quoted also in America, the planet. Let's take a look at what's been happening on the planet during the last, let's say, 300-500 years. We have been continuously diminishing due to the overall changes that are going on the planet. The oxygen level at one time, according to the evaluation of ice cores in North Pole that you can see in Al Gore's movie, oxygen levels was around 40%. Right now it's down to around 15%. And according to environmental research, we are consuming oxygen at a rate about 5 times faster than it is being produced. So oxygen levels are going down, but even United States Department of Agriculture, University of Florida, did a study with over 100,000 children, and they found that over 60% of the children that were attending school, they were anemic. And not only that, our anemic standards, what is considered anemia has been reduced by about 3 times to cure everybody in America from anemia, because by the old standards, everyone would be called anemic. That don't sound too good. Cure it, reduce the standards. We can't get enough people into the military by the standards of World War I. Reduce the standards. There's a very simple solutions to everything. So the crude chlorophyll greens increases, the chlorophyll has a structure almost identical to hemoglobin, and that by ingesting it, and quote, all the research done by very famous researchers shows overcomes all forms of anemia. All forms, including pernicious anemia and anemia of unknown origin. This is all from medical literature. Oh, did I have fun. I spent all those years at Harvard Medical Library studying, going through the abstracts before Google. Now, hey, who needs Harvard Medical Library? I have Harvard Medical Library in my laptop. Access to everything. So, the research was so very much there. Power of greens, not only regenerating the oxygen delivery levels, but also we're exposed to so much radiation, and more is to come. If you watch the movie 2012, or you watched 11th Hour, the scientific community are very concerned about the radical increase in solar flares, and in particular the sunspot cycle, which sunspots which are on sun, they're becoming more and more intense, and they see it based on statistical data and progression that it will peak by the time 2012 December comes around. The radiation will be very intense. Well, thank you, United States government, for doing pioneer earlier research, which I quote in Survival, published in the Radiation Review. When animals were given crude chlorophyll greens, I'm talking about like spinach, like Popeye, Popeye the Snow, you know, he was very strong on even cooked spinach. Can you imagine what he could have done on raw spinach? But it showed that the animals that were subject to lethal dosages of radiation, they survived. So you need greens, you need water alkalis. Tomorrow we'll show how to sprout and grow your youth salads at home for pennies instead of tens of dollars of expenditure, and how to make delicious meals that are enzymatically active, alkaline. And thank God there is somebody who's got some sense of time.
Victorious, thank you. And let's give Victorious a big round of applause. I want to say that I'd like to take a few minute break, and then we'll come back with Diane. And we're going to have a questions and answers right after that. We're not going to go to dinner at 5 o'clock. If you'd stay, we'll have Fred Van Leeuwen is going to give a short scenario on demons and how do we get demons out of our life. And but let's take a short minute break, and we'll come back. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. We're done with you.